Dylan Raiola, spotlight's going to be on him. I did find it not interesting, but notable how Matt Rule said, yeah, Heinrich Haarberg took the first reps. He's a veteran. He started the most games last year. That's how they're always going to do it. And, I think we all expect Raiola to have a really good chance to be the guy, but having Haarberg be the first quarterback out is the right move right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You can't just give it to Raiola or even K. You got to let those guys win it.
No, but here's what's going on, though. They're practicing on 3 different fields, so all the quarterbacks are getting a lot of reps. And who takes which reps with what team, the first, second, or third team can change based on how you're playing. So, we'll see. I'll see how we won't see because we don't see much practice, but it would be interesting tomorrow or not tomorrow, Tuesday. The next time they practice this Tuesday to see who's taking the first reps. It would be. We used to do that when Bill Callahan opened spring ball. You'd look every day. Okay, who's taking the first rep? Who's taking the first snaps? Now, Rule did say something I thought that was newsworthy. And Mitch Sherman of The Athletic asked him, what do you want from these young quarterbacks, these 2 scholarship quarterbacks, 2 freshman scholarship quarterbacks? What do you want from them by the end of spring? He said, Rule said, I want them to be ready to start. We only have 3. I mean, it's a very pragmatic answer, but he said it. I want those guys to be ready to start. And he said, I don't know that they will start, but I want them to be ready.
It's a much different situation than a year ago. They had 6 scholarship quarterbacks active on the spring roster. Now, 2 of them were out, Casey Thompson and Logan Smothers, but you had Jeff Sims, you had Chubba Purdy, you had Heinrich Haarberg,
right.
And then I'm missing one more in there of the 6 scholarship guys.
Don't do this to me. Heinrich, Chubba.
Logan
Casey. Smothers.
Well, there were 6. Now I'm blanking on what the repetitions
at any rate. Go ahead.
The repetitions were tough to manage
to get the quarterbacks the necessary repetitions to develop properly. That will not be a problem this spring, right?
No, and with just 3, everyone's going to get really, really good live reps,
yep.
And you'll have a good read on each one of these guys. And
absolutely.
And I think last year the situation was so limited, they just kind of had to force Jeff Sims in. I don't think they anticipated Haarberg to ever be the starter last year at this time. And they knew Chubba Purdy had ability, but he was always nick.
Well, he was banged up. Yeah,
always.
That was part of it. So, yeah, you're right. When you look back at it, they did kind of have to thrust Sims in there. It was Sims's job pretty much
the first week.
Yeah. Starting job. So that's not, you're 100% right. It is a way different feel this year. There's a battle.
There's going to be a moment like in a scrimmage. You're going to see Haarberg start out a scrimmage. Then they're going to switch it up and go, all right, Raiola, you're in. How's he going to do with the ones?
Yeah, that's the big question.
It's tough to evaluate a quarterback in a scrimmage when he's with the 2s or the 3s because your personnel is not as good. But,
right.
How will they manage those 1 reps with those quarterbacks? Because you want to see Raiola and Kalen get an opportunity with Jamal Banks, with Isaiah Nayor, with some of the top guys, with Fedoni.
With the one line.
Because you just won't get the same picture with the 2s and the 3s. And that will be what Matt Rule and that offensive staff have to kind of figure out over the course of spring.
Oh, yeah.
How to manage those. You get 2 of them, 2 big ones where you can go 100+ plays in each scrimmage.
God, this is where I do the thing every year where I take you back, Sean. I kind of remember we used to watch those scrimmages. Man, would that be nice.
Coach Rule, we know you catch us sometimes. Just give us 1 scrimmage.
Osborne.
For the good of the media coverage.
Yeah, and I'm not doing this thing where Frank did it and Osborne did it and I guess Callahan did it and Riley did it. I'm not doing that. They did, though. They let us watch a lot. And Tom's scrimmages, people don't mind us reminiscing a little bit. Sean, you know how many games in March Madness I'd miss because I was covering a
Saturday scrimmage,
a 3-hour scrimmage that had 200+ plays. And back in the day when they had, 175 players on the roster, and people cared in this market about the 5th string fullback. You couldn't leave the scrimmage if a fifth string running back broke one. That was news.
They kept stats at them.
Like
I can remember Jeff Greesh would be up there and they'd stat track a scrimmage.
Yep. Oh, it was, and Now there wasn't nearly as many media, and that's probably why we don't see them anymore.
I was the only digital guy around back then.
Yeah,
I mean, it was all print.
remember that those were long Saturdays, but you learned so much.
Oh, like you felt like accomplished. Like, all right,
yeah, I know this team. Nowadays, it's harder to get to know the team, and who's playing what and who's playing well. It's really challenging.
Yeah, no, I miss those days. I'll never forget the Bill Callahan scrimmage where Zach Taylor was 05.
Did we see that one?
Yes.
Though? Did we see that?
And it was 3.5 hours long, and he was sacked 8 times live.
Yeah. And I think he had a broken tooth or something.
He had the flu.
Oh, what, really? And he was bleeding.
He was sick the day before, and that was when he won the job over Joe Daly.
Yeah.
Then Harrison Beck got in that summer and, was back, kind of put to the back burner. But at one point you thought Harrison Beck would come in and maybe have a chance as a freshman. Then you quickly learned he had no chance.
Nope.
I mean, he just wasn't ready, at the maturity level